I never planned to see her again. Not after what she did. Not after she crushed me when I was already at my lowest. I still remember the way her eyes flickered, cold, distant, when she said, "You're just holding me back." That was 2 years ago, back when I had nothing. No job, no family, just a dream and a heart full of lies. I built myself from the dirt up, scraping, crawling, bleeding for every step. Now I stand at the top floor of the hotel I own. My suit is clean, my name is respected, and my enemies whisper behind closed doors. Then today, I saw her again. Not in a dress, not in heels, not as the girl who walked away. She was in a maid's uniform, carrying a bucket, cleaning a toilet, in my hotel. She didn't recognize me at first. Not until I said her name. Lena. Her hands froze. The mop slipped. And that's when it all came back. Every lie, every tear, every night I cried in silence. Now I have a choice. Walk past her. Or make her remember what it felt like to lose everything. I can't do this anymore, Ethan. Her voice was flat, cold, like we weren't standing in the same room where she once said she loved me. Do what? I asked. Be patient? Believe in me? You said you would. That was before. Before I realized this isn't going anywhere. I took a step closer. You mean I'm not going anywhere? She didn't deny it. Instead, she crossed her arms and looked past me like I wasn't even there. You've been unemployed for 8 months. You barely leave this apartment. You don't even talk about trying anymore. My dad just died. My voice cracked. A month ago. Exactly. And you still act like the world owes you something because of it. I blinked, stunned. What are you saying, Lena? I'm saying I'm done. I stared at her. Her purse was already packed. Her keys sat on the counter. You planned this, I whispered. She hesitated, then shrugged. I deserve to be happy. With who? She didn't answer, just bit her lip and turned toward the door. Then I saw the message light on her phone flash. I snatched it before she could. Aaron? I read his name out loud. You've been talking to Aaron? He was there when you weren't, she said quietly. My best friend? My only friend? You pushed everyone away, Ethan. I didn't cheat. Not at first, but I didn't stop it either. I felt sick. You slept with him? She didn't look guilty. Not even a little. I'm sorry it happened like this, but I won't apologize for choosing better. Better? I laughed, but it sounded broken. He's a bartender with no spine. He's not stuck. That's the difference. I stared at her. Really stared. I remembered her smile when we first met. The nights we stayed up dreaming of the future. Her laugh in the rain. Gone. Do I mean anything to you? She paused at the door. You did, but I can't wait around for you to become someone. I need someone now. She opened the door, and then she was gone. The silence hit like a punch. I sat on the couch, then slid to the floor. I didn't cry at first. I just sat there, staring at the wall, trying to breathe. Then it all came at once. Her words, her voice, Aaron's name. I curled up and let the tears come. My chest felt like it was tearing in half. I must have laid there for hours. At some point I whispered, Dad, I'm sorry. The apartment felt colder than it ever had. That was the last night I cried. I swore it. No one would ever see me like that again. Hey, Ethan. I froze, halfway through wiping a sticky table. That voice, I knew it. I turned. Lena stood by the counter, arm in arm with Aaron. She smiled like nothing had happened. This where you work now? She asked. I glanced down at my stained apron. Yeah, Aaron chuckled. Didn't think you'd actually take a job. You always talked like you were above this kind of thing. I forced a smile. Nice to see you too. He leaned closer. We'll take 2 iced lattes. Oat milk. Extra sweet. Got it? I nodded and walked away. My hands shook as I grabbed cups. Still washing. Dishes after hours, huh? Lena called from across the cafe. Hard work builds character, I guess. I didn't respond. My throat was tight. I just made the drinks and brought them over. Aaron took a sip. Damn, not bad. Maybe you've got a future here. Maybe, I muttered. Lena tilted her head. You okay, Ethan? You look tired. I stared at her. I don't sleep much. Too busy surviving? Aaron grinned. I turned around before I said something I'd regret. That night, I walked home with blistered feet and a soaked shirt. The rain didn't stop. My apartment was dark, damp. The air smelled like mold and regret. I tossed my bag down and kicked off my shoes. Everything felt heavy. I sat on the floor, back against the wall. Then I saw it. A dusty box under the old table. I pulled it out. My dad's handwriting stared back at me. Build, fail, learn, repeat. His notebook. Pages full of sketches, plans, numbers, dreams. My chest tightened. I flipped through it. running my fingers over the worn paper. He used to say, "If you can survive today, you can shape tomorrow." I whispered, "I've been surviving, Dad, but it's not enough." I sat there for a long time, staring at those pages. Something burned inside me. Not sadness, not fear. Something else. Fire. I picked up a pen, drew a line under his last note. "They'll regret this." I closed the notebook, my jaw clenched. No more begging, no more waiting. Let them laugh, let them mock. This was the last time they'd ever see me small. "You wash dishes?" the guy in the lobby asked, eyeing me like I was a bug on his shoe. I tightened my grip on the tray. "Yeah, I do." He scoffed. "Didn't you go to college or something?" "Something like that," I muttered, heading toward the kitchen. The hotel was old, smelled like bleach and memories, but it paid. Barely. "Hey, rookie," a voice barked as I pushed through the kitchen door. "You wash with your hands or stare at the plates till they clean themselves." That was Jerome. Bellboy, part-time, clown, full-time pain in the ass. I was just, "Doesn't matter, get scrubbing." He tossed a greasy pan at the sink. I rolled up my sleeves and started the water. Grease burned my hands, but I didn't stop. Couldn't. "You always this slow?" I didn't look up. "You always this loud?" Someone laughed behind me. A girl's voice. "He's got you there, Jerome." I turned. A short girl in a faded uniform leaned against the wall, holding a broom. "Tasha," she said, "I clean rooms. You?" "Ethan." I held up a dripping plate. "I destroy grease for a living," she grinned. "Welcome to the pit." It wasn't glamorous, it wasn't even decent, but it was mine, and I needed it. Later that night, after a 10-hour shift, I sat alone in the break room, eating instant noodles. Mr. Cho walked in. "You new boy?" he asked, eyeing my food like it offended him. "Yes, sir." "You clean good?" "I try." "You late?" "Never." "You steal?" "No." He sat across from me. "You look tired." "I am." He stared. "Good. Tired means working. Working means learning. Lazy men sleep too easy." I didn't know what to say. He pointed at my notebook. "You write?" "My dad's stuff," I said, flipping it open. "Ideas, plans, dreams." He nodded slowly. "Your father smart? Smart enough to believe in me." Mr. Cho's eyes softened. "You listen, you work, you learn hotel." I blinked. "Sorry? You want to just wash dishes? Or you want to understand hotel?" I didn't hesitate. "I want more." He smiled. "Just barely." "Then show me. Tomorrow, you start early. Lobby 6 a.m. "Yes, sir." He stood. "Don't call me sir. Makes me feel old." I smirked. "Yes, Mr. Cho." He grunted and left. The next morning, I was there before sunrise. Tasha raised an eyebrow when she saw me. "Who dies this early on purpose?" "Ambition," I said. She snorted. "Don't let Jerome hear that. He breaks out in hives around ambition." Mr. Cho walked in, handed me a clipboard, and started showing me everything. Bookings, customer complaints, supply orders. "Matter," he said. "Smiles make money. Clean bathrooms save reputations." I followed him everywhere. Watched, learned, took notes. Days blurred, nights shorter. My hands ached, my legs burned. But inside, I felt alive. One afternoon, I caught Jerome staring at me. "You think you're special or something?" he asked. "No," I said. "I just don't want to be stuck." He rolled his eyes. "This place eats people. You'll see." Maybe, but I'd already tasted fire. I wasn't going back. Later that night, I added a new line to my dad's notebook. "Dreams cost pain, but staying small costs more." I closed it, heart pounding. One step at a time. I was going to own this place. They just didn't know it yet. "You look like you haven't slept in a week," Tasha said, dropping into the seat beside me in the break room. I rubbed my face. "I haven't. Mr. Cho's letting me handle bookings now, and a pipe burst in room 204 at 3 a.m. She shook her head. "That man's testing you." "Good. I want the pressure." "You want ulcers," she muttered, sipping her soda. The door creaked open. Mr. Cho walked in, slower than usual. He looked pale, tired. "Ethan," he said, voice rough, "come with me." I stood immediately. "Everything okay?" He didn't answer, just walked to his office and sat down slowly. "I'm sick," he said, eyes avoiding mine. "Doctor says I need surgery. Heart." My stomach dropped. "You'll be okay, right?" He gave a weak smile. "Maybe, maybe not." "Do you need time off? I can cover." "No," he interrupted. "I need you to run the hotel." I froze. "Me? You've been watching, learning. You don't complain, you don't quit. I trust you." "But what if I mess up?" "You will," he said simply. "Then you fix it. That's how we learn." I swallowed. "Okay, I'll do it." He nodded. "Good, don't screw it up." The next morning, I was behind the front desk, uniform pressed, heart racing. Jerome walked past whistling. "Look at you, boss man." I ignored him, focused on the screen. First guest was late, checking out. Second complained the towels smelled weird. Housekeeping was behind. Tasha rushed over. We're out of toilet paper for the upper floors. Who's doing inventory now? Me, I said. Give me 10 minutes. I handled it. Every fire, every complaint. I stayed on my feet for 16 hours. By the end of the week, I hadn't slept more than 5 hours total. But something weird started happening. Thank you for fixing the AC so fast, a guest told me. You're really professional, said another. Even Jerome, snarky as ever, mumbled, didn't think you'd last a day. I laughed. Neither did I. One night, I sat in Mr. Cho's office alone. His name was still on the plaque. I opened Dad's notebook again, wrote down the day's numbers. We'd made a small profit, for the first time in months. I stared at the numbers, disbelief slowly turning to pride. This is possible, I whispered. The door opened. Mr. Cho stepped in. His face was pale, but he was smiling. Place still standing? Barely, I said, but we made money this week. He nodded, sat slowly in the chair across from me. You still want more? I met his eyes. Yes. He reached into his coat and slid a folder across the desk. Paperwork, he said. If you can raise the funds, I'll sell you 30%. I'm retiring soon. Place needs new blood. I stared at the papers. My name was on them. How much? I asked. He told me the number. My throat went dry. It might as well have been $1 million. I don't have that kind of money. You will, he said, standing. You're hungry. That's all a man needs. He walked out, leaving me staring at the folder. I looked down at Dad's notebook. If the door's locked, build your own damn key. My hand shook as I wrote, I won't just survive anymore. I'll own it. That was the night my dream stopped being just a wish. It became a plan. You're out of your mind, Tasha said, her mop still dripping. I know. I leaned against the supply closet door, the contract burning a hole in my backpack. But I have to try. You're selling your car? Gone already. Pawned my laptop too. She blinked. Ethan, that was your dad's. I'll buy it back someday. Right now I need capital. She didn't respond right away, just sighed. You're serious about this? I met her eyes, dead serious. 2 weeks passed in a blur of rejection, paperwork, and exhaustion. Bank after bank laughed me out of their offices. You've got no collateral, no cosigner, and no safety net, the last loan officer said. I've got a business plan. I slid Dad's notebook across the table. I've already improved profits. I know this place. I know what it needs. She barely glanced at it. That's not enough. Sorry. Later that night, I sat at the front desk, head in my hands. Still breathing? A voice asked. I looked up. A well-dressed woman I vaguely recognized from last month. Mrs. Dean. Big jewelry. Bigger tips. Trying, I said. You look like you've been run over twice. Feels like 3 times. She tilted her head. What's got you so wrecked? I hesitated, then exhaled. I'm trying to buy part of this place. Mr. Cho's retiring, but no one takes me seriously. She raised a brow. You run this hotel like a man twice your age. Doesn't matter to the banks. She paused. Show me your numbers, I blinked. Wait, seriously? I didn't ask twice. 2 days later, she handed me a check. Pay me back in 5 years, with interest. Don't screw me over. I won't. I promised, voice shaking. I'm not helping you because I like you, she added. I just hate watching good talent rot. The deal closed fast. Mr. Cho called me into his office, handed me a pen. Sign. My hand hovered over the line. I never thought this would happen. You earned it, he said. Now don't screw it up. I signed. My name, in black ink, felt heavier than anything I'd ever written. A month later, the new sign went up. ER Suites. My initials. Tasha whistled when she saw it. You really did it, I smiled. We did. Jerome muttered, Guess I should stop calling you dish boy now. Probably, I said, clapping his shoulder. But I won't hold my breath. That night, I walked the halls alone, room to room, carpet to ceiling. Every corner felt different now. My phone buzzed. A message from an old college friend. Saw the article. You own a hotel now? Attached was a photo, me in a blazer in front of the new sign. The article headline, From Broke to Boss, how one young man took over the hotel that once hired him to wash dishes. I stared at it, not smiling, just breathing. This wasn't luck. This was every hour I bled, every insult I swallowed, every tear I buried. I opened Dad's notebook. The page was almost full. At the bottom, I wrote one line. I don't need revenge. Success is louder. And for the first time in a long, long time, I slept easy. Hey, boss? Tasha poked her head into the office. We got a new maid on rotation. She's kind of jumpy. I didn't look up from the desk. Training issues? No, more like life hit her like a truck issues. I sighed. Send her to me after her shift. I'll talk to her. A few hours later, I stepped into the service hallway to grab a report and nearly bumped into her. She was kneeling by a supply cart, scrubbing something off the floor. Hey, I said without thinking. You new here? She looked up, and my heart stopped. It was her, Lena, hair tied back, dark circles under her eyes. Wearing the same uniform Tasha once joked about, she didn't recognize me at first. Sorry, she mumbled, standing quickly. I'll move the cart. Lena. She froze, like her body turned to stone. Slowly, she looked up again. Ethan? I didn't answer. I didn't have to. She saw it now. The suit, the badge on my chest, the polished shoes. What are you doing here? Her voice cracked. I folded my arms. I own this hotel. She swallowed hard. You're joking. I was the joke 2 years ago. Remember? I didn't know this was yours, she whispered. Would you have applied if you did? I needed the job. Her eyes were glossy. Aaron left, took everything. I had nowhere else to go. I stared at her. The same girl who once told me I was holding her back, now holding a mop. You okay? I asked flatly. She gave a bitter laugh. You're asking me if I'm okay? I ask all my employees that. I didn't know it'd end like this, she whispered. I thought I was choosing better. You did, I said. Better, for you, just not for me. She looked down at her shoes. I don't expect forgiveness. I just need this job. You'll get your paycheck like everyone else. No special treatment. I'm not asking for that. Her voice trembled. Just, please don't fire me. I don't fire people for being desperate. I've been there. She looked up again, eyes shining. You changed. No, I said. I just finally became the person you never had the patience to wait for. She wiped her cheek quickly. You hate me, don't you? I stayed silent because I didn't know. Hate? No, but I felt something colder. Indifference. Go finish your shift, I said. She nodded, turned, and pushed the cart down the hall without another word. Later in the office, Tasha walked in quietly. So, she said, you knew her. I didn't look up. Yeah, you okay? I paused, then closed the file I was reading. I think so. She looked like someone who lost the whole world. She gave it away, I said, for someone who dropped her when things got hard. Still hurts, though, doesn't it? Less than it used to. She leaned on the desk. What are you going to do? Nothing. Tasha blinked. Seriously? She wanted to see what I'd become. I leaned back in my chair. Now she has. And I meant it. I didn't need revenge. I'd already won. She waited by the break room door like a shadow. I saw her from the hallway, head down, hands clenched, like she was holding herself together with string. Can we talk? Lena's voice was quiet, almost like the girl I used to know. I nodded once. 5 minutes. Sit. She perched on the edge of the chair like it might reject her. I stayed standing. I'm not here to ask for anything, she said. Just hear me out? I crossed my arms. Go ahead. When I left, I thought I was choosing a better life. Aaron promised me everything. Said you were just dragging me down. He was right, I said. Back then, I was. She flinched. No, you were grieving, struggling. I was just selfish. I didn't respond. Let her keep going. Aaron changed. After a few months, he stopped working, started gambling, drinking. I kept covering his rent until I couldn't anymore. Then he just disappeared. You lose everything? I asked. She nodded. Evicted. Debt. Friends vanished. I applied everywhere. Got rejected everywhere. This was the only job that called back. I leaned on the counter. And now you're cleaning floors in the hotel owned by the guy you left behind. She looked away. You don't have to say it like that. That's how it is. I know. Her voice cracked. And I deserve it. I do. I was awful to you. Yeah, I said simply. She blinked hard, tears forming. I don't want pity. I just needed to say it out loud. I messed up. I was wrong. The silence between us stretched too long. I finally spoke. Why now? Why talk to me at all? Because seeing you like this, you made it. You're strong. You survived. I needed to tell you I was proud of you, even if I don't belong in your world anymore. That's true, I said. Her lips trembled. I wish I had waited. I wish I had believed in you. I didn't say anything. She stood up slowly. I won't bother you again. Just as she reached the door, I asked, do you regret it, for real? She turned, eyes red. Every single day. And if I said I forgave you, I wouldn't believe you. I looked her in the eyes. Good, because I don't. She nodded, quietly. I didn't expect you to. I just wanted to be honest. You were honest too late. She opened the door, but I stopped her one last time. Keep the full job, Lena. You need it. Work hard. Keep your head down. That's all I ask. She looked surprised. You'd still let me stay? I'm not you, I said. I don't kick people when they're down. She nodded again. Thank you. As the door closed behind her, Tasha stepped out from behind the corner. You're way nicer than I'd be. I shrugged. Maybe. But this isn't about her anymore. You sure? I thought for a second. When I first saw her, I wanted to rub it in, make her suffer. But now? Now what? Now I just feel sorry for her. Tasha crossed her arms. That's growth. Also kind of boring. You should have at least made her scrub toilets for fun. I smirked. She already does. Tasha laughed. Fair enough. I leaned back against the wall, letting the silence return. Not angry, not bitter, just done. You sure you're ready for this? Tasha asked, holding a clipboard as we stood in front of the ballroom doors. Yeah. I adjusted my cufflinks. Investors, reporters, local press, it's just another day. She smirked. Except this day, you're the one they came for. About time. The grand opening banner read, ER Suites, Grand Expansion Launch, 3 new floors, a rooftop bar, and a full renovation, all under my name. I stepped into the room. Flashes from cameras hit me like lightning. People clapped. I shook hands, smiled, gave a short speech. All I kept thinking was, she's probably somewhere cleaning a hallway. And I was right. Because as I left the ballroom, I saw her, down the hallway, quiet, alone, carrying a tray of towels. Lena. She looked up. We locked eyes. She didn't flinch this time, didn't cry. She just stood there, still and silent. I walked toward her, not fast, not slow. Big event? She asked, glancing toward the noise. Expansion launch. Congrats, she said softly. You deserve it. I nodded. Thanks. She looked tired, paler, but calmer. I saw the write-up in the paper last week, she added. My mom read it twice. I raised an eyebrow. She didn't hate me. She said she always liked you more than Aaron, Lena said with a small laugh. Turns out so did I. But not when it mattered. Her smile faded. No, not then. We stood in silence. I finally said, You're doing okay? I get by. She held up the towels. Hard work, but I sleep better now. Funny how hitting rock bottom resets people. Yeah, she whispered, it really does. She started to turn, then hesitated. Ethan, she said, barely above a whisper, do you ever wish it had gone differently? I looked at her, really looked, the person I used to love, the person who left me broken, and I said, no. She blinked. Not even a little? If it had gone differently, I said, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be me. She nodded slowly. I think about that every day. I used to think about you every day, I admitted. Then every week. Then never. Her lips pressed into a line. I deserve that. I'm not saying it to hurt you. I stepped aside to let her pass. I'm saying it because I'm free now. She looked at me like she wanted to say something else. But she didn't. She just walked past, didn't stumble, didn't cry, just walked. Later that night, the party was over. The lights were off. The hotel was quiet. I sat in my office, feet up, notebook open. Dad's handwriting still faded but strong. I flipped to the back and wrote my final line. I didn't get revenge. I got peace. Tasha knocked gently and leaned in. Everyone's gone. Want me to lock up? Yeah, thanks. She paused. You okay? I smiled. I'm better than okay. Good. She turned to leave, then looked back. You're not just a survivor anymore, Ethan. You're a builder. I looked around the office, my office, and nodded. Yeah, I said. I am. And this time, the silence didn't feel empty. It felt like victory.